Let's get right into it. Number 10. The underwater river that shouldn't exist. Imagine diving deep underwater in Mexico and suddenly seeing a river, a misty, ghostly river flowing at the bottom of a cave, complete with fallen trees and riverbanks. But rivers don't exist underwater. That's exactly what you'll find at Cenote Angelita. This underwater cave looks like it's breaking the laws of physics. About 100 feet down, you'll spot what looks like a flowing river. The water above is crystal clear, but this river is cloudy and mysterious. What you're seeing isn't actually a river at all. It's a layer of toxic hydrogen sulfide. This happens because the cenote has 3 distinct layers. The top is fresh water, the bottom is salt water, and in between, the hydrogen sulfide creates this cloudy layer that looks exactly like a flowing river. It gets even creepier. The ancient Maya believed cenotes were gateways to the underworld. When you're diving here, looking at this impossible underwater river with fallen trees floating in toxic gas, it's not hard to see why they thought that. The trees and leaves you see in the river are real. They fall into the cenote and get trapped in the hydrogen sulfide layer. They just float there, preserved in this toxic soup, creating perfect riverbank scenery. And if you're brave enough to dive through the toxic layer, you'll pop out into crystal clear salt water on the other side. It's like passing through a gateway into another world. Number 9. The Racetrack Playa. In Death Valley, there's a place called the Racetrack Playa. It's a perfectly flat, dry lake bed where rocks, some weighing up to 700 pounds, slide across the ground without anyone touching them. They leave long trails behind them, like someone dragged them with a rope, but nobody's dragging them. Scientists were scratching their heads over this for nearly a century. Some rocks would move in straight lines, others would make perfect zigzags, and some would even make complete U-turns. It's like these rocks were having their own little NASCAR race when nobody was looking. Theories ranged from magnetic fields to aliens. Then in 2014, scientists finally caught these sneaky rocks in the act. When it rains in Death Valley, a thin layer of water covers the playa. At night, this water freezes into a sheet of ice. When morning comes and the ice starts to break up, these ice sheets, pushed by light winds, literally shove the rocks across the ground. The ice is so thin you could barely see it, but strong enough to push rocks weighing as much as a refrigerator. This only happens every few years. You need the perfect combination of rain, cold, and wind. And once the ice melts and the playa dries up, all you're left with are these mysterious trails and rocks that look like they're trying to escape Death Valley 1 inch at a time. Number 8. The Crooked Forest. You're walking through a normal forest in Poland when suddenly every single tree around you looks like it's doing a limbo dance. This is the Crooked Forest. About 400 pine trees all bent at exactly the same angle. Each tree starts growing normally from the ground, then takes a sharp 90-degree turn northward, curves up again, and continues growing straight to the sky. It looks like someone grabbed the forest and bent it like a spoon. These trees were all planted around 1930, but nobody knows for sure why they're bent this way. World War II destroyed all the records. The most likely explanation is that humans did this on purpose. Back in the 1930s, curved wood was super valuable for making furniture and boats, so some forester probably bent these trees when they were young, planning to harvest them later, but nobody ever came back. The precision messes with your head. Every tree is bent at exactly the same height, about 3 feet off the ground, and they all point in exactly the same direction. North. Like someone used a giant protractor in the forest. We're left with this forest that looks like someone pressed Ctrl-B on a bunch of trees and never bothered to hit undo. Number 7. The Eternal Flame Falls. Imagine walking through a forest and finding a waterfall with a flame burning behind it. This actually exists in New York's Chestnut Ridge Park. It's a cascade of water with a fire trapped behind it. Water is supposed to put out fire. That's what makes this place so mind-bending. Behind the waterfall, there's a small cave that releases natural gas. Someone lit this gas who knows how long ago, and it's been burning ever since. Most of the time, anyway. Sometimes the flame goes out, but visitors just bring a lighter and restart nature's pilot light. Scientists studied this place and found something that made them question what they knew about natural gas. Normally, natural gas needs really hot temperatures to form, the kind of heat you'd find deep underground. But the gas here is forming in what scientists call cool shale. It's like making ice cream in an oven. It shouldn't work, but somehow it does. This gas isn't your regular natural gas either. It has way more ethane and propane than it should. The whole thing is such a mystery that scientists are still scratching their heads about it. You're looking at something that breaks the rules of nature itself. Number 6. Magnetic Hill. Imagine you're driving down a road, and suddenly your car starts rolling uphill by itself. No engine, no magic. That's exactly what happens at Magnetic Hill in New Brunswick, Canada. You drive to the bottom of what looks like a hill, put your car in neutral, and watch as your vehicle starts rolling uphill, against gravity. You might think it's magnets under the road, but it's not. Your brain is getting bamboozled. What looks like uphill is actually downhill. You judge whether something's uphill or downhill by looking at the horizon, trees, or buildings as reference points. But at these gravity hills, those reference points play a trick on you. The surrounding landscape is tilted in such a way that what's actually a slight downhill slope looks like it's going uphill. Scientists have gone to these places with their equipment, and every single time, they confirm the same thing. These hills are actually going downhill. But even when you know the truth, your brain refuses to accept it. You can hold a level in your hand showing the slope going down, and your eyes will still tell you it's going up. And it's not just in Canada. There are magnetic hills all over the world. Number 5. Kawah Ijen. In Indonesia, rivers of glowing blue fire flow down a volcano at midnight. This is happening right now at Kawah Ijen, but it's not actually lava. What you're seeing is burning sulfur, creating the largest blue flame show on Earth. During the day, this place looks pretty normal for a volcano, as normal as a volcano with the world's largest acid lake can look. But at night, the whole mountainside lights up with electric blue flames that can shoot up to 16 feet high. Blue fire pours down the mountain like some kind of alien waterfall. Local miners have to climb this volcano every day to harvest the sulfur. They carry up to 200 pounds of sulfur on their shoulders, breathing in toxic fumes that would kill most people, all for around $12 per day. The sulfur they collect is used in things like sugar and matches. The lake at the top of this volcano is so acidic it could dissolve metal. It's like nature decided to make a giant bowl of battery acid. Tourists still flock here from all over the world to see this place where fire burns blue and reality takes a vacation. Number 4. Lake Natron. Imagine a lake so deadly it turns animals into stone statues. This is Lake Natron in Tanzania. The water is so alkaline it's like taking a dip in liquid drain cleaner, with a pH level that can hit 10.5, nearly as caustic as ammonia. When animals die in this lake, they don't decompose like normal. Instead, they get preserved. The lake turns them into calcified statues, frozen in their final poses. The water is loaded with sodium carbonate, the same stuff ancient Egyptians used to preserve their mummies. So when something dies in the lake, it gets naturally mummified. Despite being basically a pool of natural bleach, this death trap is actually a breeding paradise for flamingos. Millions of them come here to breed. They've evolved special scales on their legs that protect them from the caustic soup. The lake even turns blood red sometimes, thanks to tiny organisms that love the extreme conditions. When photographer Nick Brandt found all these calcified animals, he arranged them in lifelike poses, creating images that are beautiful in a really creepy way. Number 3. Movile Cave. In 1986, workers in Romania accidentally broke into a cave that had been sealed off from the world for over 5.5 million years. This place is Earth's version of an alien world. The air down there would kill you in minutes. It's got barely any oxygen and is filled with hydrogen sulfide, the stuff that makes rotten eggs smell bad. The cave is completely cut off from the surface world. No sunlight gets in, which means no plants can grow. But this toxic cave is absolutely packed with life. Spiders that have never seen light, water scorpions that look like they crawled out of a nightmare, leeches that would make Dracula uncomfortable. Most of these creatures are completely blind and pale. They've been living in pitch darkness for so long they've given up on eyes, developing super long antennae and legs to feel their way around instead. They don't eat plants to survive. They munch on a thick mat of bacteria that covers the cave walls. These bacteria are like tiny chemical factories, turning the toxic gases in the cave into food. Scientists have found dozens of species here that exist nowhere else on Earth, an entire ecosystem, completely separated from the rest of the world since before humans existed. Number 2. The door to hell. Imagine you're driving through the desert in Turkmenistan. Nothing but sand for miles. Then suddenly you see it, a massive hole in the ground that's literally on fire. This is the Darvaza gas crater, also known as the door to hell. It's a classic case of oops, my bad, on a geological scale. Back in 1971, Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas when the ground collapsed under their rig, cracking open the earth itself. The gas was toxic, so they had what seemed like a brilliant idea. Let's just set it on fire. They figured it would burn for a few weeks. It's still burning today. The crater is 230 feet across and 100 feet deep. The heat is so intense that if you stand at the edge, It feels like your face is melting. It burns so bright, it's visible from miles away. The government has tried to put out the fire multiple times, but this thing refuses to go out. Nobody knows exactly how much gas is left. This massive mistake could burn for another 50 years, or it could run out tomorrow. Number 1. Salar de Uyuni. Imagine waking up and finding yourself in a place where the sky is below your feet. That's what happens at Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat. During the rainy season, this place turns into something straight out of a dream. A thin layer of water covers the salt, creating the world's largest mirror. The surface is so perfectly flat that the water doesn't move or ripple, creating a reflection so perfect it makes it impossible to tell where the ground ends and the sky begins. It's bigger than some countries, about the size of Jamaica, just sitting there in Bolivia, reflecting the sky like a giant cosmic mirror. The perfect reflection creates an optical illusion so powerful that tourists often get vertigo. It literally feels like you're walking in the sky. This place is so flat and reflective that NASA uses it to calibrate their satellites. Under all that salt lies the world's largest lithium deposit, the same stuff that powers your phone. The reflection means you can take pictures that make it look like you're walking on clouds, or being chased by tiny toy dinosaurs that look gigantic because of the lack of depth perception. It's a place where the line between Earth and sky completely disappears, and reality simply stops making sense. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.